Hello, and welcome to the short tutorial on creating and editing buttons with the new ePanicButton 3.0. When you first log in, you want to go to the Buttons tab right up here, at which point you would look at the bottom of the table where you have a plus sign to create new buttons or the pencil sign to edit. So as an example, you would select a button and click the pencil to edit it, but since we're going to create a new button, it's pretty much the same thing as editing a button. The first thing you want to do is select which group it's going to belong to. Every button must belong to a group, and try to think of a group as the template of buttons. Therefore, all the users in the group will get the buttons that belong to the Asheville office. The button name is for the administrator's reference. I'm going to create a button to summon medical help. This field right here for button name could be as long as you'd like, but the button title must be under 8 characters. The message will be the same whether it's a desktop alert, email, or text message. The button title will also be the subject line for any emails. The button icon represents what the icon will be in the scroll-up window that the mouse will click on. If you look at the bottom right of my screen, I've got two existing, a red circle for security, a yellow circle for support, and that's what right here you can see that's that red circle that you just saw a second ago. But because I'm creating a medical button, I'm going to go with the medical bag icon. The group message is an important issue. This is where we could say all users within this group will receive the message. So instead of adding all the individual receivers to receive this, if we want to say, I want everybody in the Asheville office to get this button, then I simply say yes, because it belongs to this group, and therefore all users in the group will also be receivers. The severity level will let the user know or the receiver know how important the issue is. There will be a different color, there'll be the words high, medium, and low, and there'll also be a different tonal quality. There will be 3 different sounds depending upon whether it's high, medium, or low. The hotkey code and hotkey letter and number is how you would activate the program by using your keyboard. So for instance, you could set it at control, let's say F7, and therefore clicking control F7 will set it off. This is important when you're if you're using any of those optional hardware USB enabled buttons, because you have to match the hotkey to the code that you set for that hardware button. We click submit, and I'm going to filter the groups, and there we go. You can see the Asheville group has this new button. It is not a group message. There's the hotkey, and here's where we choose the receivers. The desktop computer icon is for the desktop alert receivers, envelope for email, the phone for text receivers. So I'm going to click the desktop computer image, and here you could simply see the list of all the available receivers throughout your entire system. By the way, you could filter if you so choose, or you could filter in many different ways to go through all your available receivers. Naturally, you need the program installed on the computer for them to be available receivers. So you could select a fair number of them, add them, and there we go. But let's say we also wanted to send it not only to folks in other groups, but we want to send it to everybody within their own group. So I'm going to go back to editing our button. I find it, I click the pencil icon, and now I'm going to say yes. I want it to be a group message. Now, when I go back and look at the receivers, we get this yellow box up here reminding you, hey, this button will send the alert to everybody else who's in the same group. It will not show up here in the available list. Just for way of our data saving tool, we've decided not to list them in the available receivers, but you get this reminder, this is a self-group button. And I just want to point out again that you can choose members of different groups to also be receivers. You don't have to be in the same group to send messages to each other. Now that's pretty simple, but I believe that even the email and text messages are a bit more simple. If we click on the envelope, here's where we could choose the email addresses. You can add an email address individually, like this, and these people will then get, this person will get the email, or you could batch add people. You just need to have a list of email addresses separated by a comma. You click add and it'll import it in there for you. So that's if you have a whole bunch of email addresses instead of typing each other out. Maybe you have it in a spreadsheet, just export it out into a comma delimited text file and copy and paste. The emails, or I'm sorry, the text messages are just the same. So we'll click on the cell phone, and here we could add an individual number like that, and there you go. You could also add, oh, one thing I'm sorry, I forgot that was really important. You do need to add the country code. Here we are in the United States, and the United States has the country code of 1, so you add 1 in front of the number. That's a really important part. Because we have many international clients. Now, with the batch upload, it's the same idea. Just separate the cell phone numbers with commas, and you can batch load them. In this example, these do not have the country code in front of it, so just make sure that with your cell phone numbers, you include the country code. Again, the United States is 1. And there we go. We added them all in there. So that's how you add new buttons or edit the buttons as you saw you saw me do earlier. And one thing though, if you look, I'm in here in this Asheville group, but if we look at my buttons, there's not this medical bag. It's not here. The individual workstations will not sync or update with whatever changes you make on the server until you reboot at 1 hour intervals. But then also while you're doing testing and for quick changes, you can manually do the update by right-clicking the red icon, selecting Update. It's updated, and boom, there's our new medical button. So I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions at all, if I can help you in any way, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.